or doggle. That looks like an absolutely brilliant idea. But first...
What? How y'all doing? I just had a day off. Kind of. No, I didn't. But, interesting day because for some reason, energy was abundant. Not for me, that's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But for some reason, my wife just lots of fizz today, because she cleaned the house by hand. You're gonna be like, mate, everyone cleans their house by hand. What you want about? No, they don't. They use, vacuum cleaners and steam mops and stuff like that. No, something happened. I guess because, coronavirus is going away, and so she's now getting energy again. She was just like, bah! By hand, house, clean, spotless. Like, I'm like, what? Come downstairs, and admittedly, my area will never be completely clean, because I've got too much shit, really. But there was carpet. You could see it. You can always see it, what am I on about? But like, it was organised. Things were places, admittedly, I have no idea where anything is or was up until about 30 seconds ago. I had no idea where this camera or the memory card in it were behind the sofa for reasons, which then makes you think, well, hang on a minute, is that like one of them cartoons where they lift up the rug and they sweep everything under the rug and then they start stomping it down to try and, level it out, but it turns out being 6 feet off the floor because of the amount of shit under it? No, actually, no. But all that, it's been pretty sound. Now, my part in this was to get the fuck out of the way, so I did my job well, I think. But speaking of the coronavirus stuff, we're still testing. The wife is now negative. She's had her first negative. She needs one more and she's free. And I haven't gone the negative yet. And my mum has been told that she's got another week to keep on the test. And she has to test more rigorously than we do just because of health conditions and stuff like that. But we're coming out the other side. Fantastic. During the cleaning session, pulled out this. We're switching it up. I haven't played on this thing in a while. Quite the time actually. I think the last thing I probably did on here was play a bit of Monster Hunter Rise with Divine a while back, and I think I picked up Melty Blood on here, the Melty Blood fighting game. But we've been trying to get together to play Monster Hunter. Team Ironbrew has been trying to get back together to play some Monster Hunter, and well, that's what we did today. This would make it seem like I was excited to get these grips back on here, but I am, and I'm not. One, my hands are too big to use regular Joy-Cons. Two, though, I didn't actually play in portable mode. We streamed it. We all got together and we played Monster Hunter Rise on stream for a couple of hours. I streamed it, the wife streamed it, and it was neat and fun. And Divine was using a dynamic microphone where he kept on shifting in and out of the line of the microphone, the pickup of the microphone. Absolutely hilarious, because you could tell when Divine was getting into it. He'd kind of like shift. You could like all of a sudden 1 minute he's talking and then all of a sudden his voice starts to fade away as he's coming out of the pickup. Absolutely brilliant. But it was so the fun. But I like these because I can actually use these grips on my hand. What these the Hori split pad or whatever, something like that. This is the Daemon X Machina version. I really like these because they do make the Switch comfortable to use in hand. Because Joy-Cons are way too small. Where are my Joy-Cons anyway? Doesn't matter. I don't get on with Joy-Cons. They're too small and they break all the time. In fact, nearly every pair of Joy-Cons we've got in the house, we've got more Joy-Cons than Switches, every pair has had to go back to Nintendo at least twice, and the pair that I normally have attached to my Switch are broken. Also, I don't actually tend to use standard docks on my Switch, and so I've been using like a C-Force dock or Genki docks or other just random third-party docks since the days when the Switch came out, and they said, yeah, the original Switch dock scratches your screen. So I put a tempered glass screen protector on here and went with those third-party dealios. But right now I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If I want to play fighting games, realistically, I want to give their netcode the best chance possible. In most games, you don't need to worry about the stability, reliability of netcode over Wi-Fi, but in fighting games, you need precision inputs, reasonably precise inputs, and that's where rollback netcode comes in. However, Wi-Fi isn't reliable enough for rollback netcode to really it does make a difference. It really does make a difference, but you are pushing your luck something chronic. You know, if you ever play a shooter and someone's like teleporting about, chances are that's because of, easiest way to describe it, hiccups on Wi-Fi. If they were wired, those hiccups would probably go away, so they'd stop kind of teleporting about. In fighting games, you can't be having that kind of hiccupy stuff, like, at all. But the Nintendo dock, Switch dock, and the third-party docks don't come with Ethernet. So your Switch is pretty much always on Wi-Fi, which means that majority of the people who do play fighting games on Switch are on Wi-Fi, or they buy on Switch to play on the go, and then play on like PlayStation or PC. You can Ethernet up the Switch using a USB dongle. I've lost my USB Ethernet dongle that I used to use on the Switch. I had one for the Wii back in the day when we used to play Monster Hunter. But the new Switch OLED dock, I guess it's just the new dock. I don't know if the dock only comes with the OLED, or if you just buy like the new Switch, like a new Switch these days, will that come with the dock that's like the one that comes with the OLED, because that has an Ethernet port on it. I think they binned off one of the USB ports and just built in an Ethernet port, or built in an Ethernet adapter going over USB into the dock. But I'm kind of tempted to grab one of those just so I can go and make it easier to stream. I never play this thing handheld, ever, if I don't need to. Although, admittedly, the like sleep and wake up stuff is really the useful. And this pad is really comfortable. Just, you know, you take these off, there's no power, so they only work connected up to the Switch, and that then means you can't use any accessories like Joy-Con grips, or if you're playing stuff like Ring Fit Adventure, well, these don't work. So you have to have a regular pair of Joy-Cons floating about, which is just fucking annoying. But yeah, I haven't played this thing in eons, and I've kind of missed it. Playing Monster Hunter, though, made me realise I'm spoilt hardcore on PC. The fact that you've got as many games as you have on the Nintendo Switch is a fucking miracle. The fact that half of these games run as well as they do, absolute miracle. Monster Hunter is a beautiful game, but I'm telling you, the difference between 30 and 60 FPS, 30 FPS on Switch, 60 FPS on PC, night and fucking day. Stuff like Doom, when you're playing Doom 2016, you play the Switch version, it's low res, super low res, like 640, like it's 480p, not 640 by 480, but it's 480p, right? Standard def. But when you're running around shooting stuff in the face, you don't notice it. But there's a lot of other stuff on these things that just runs like ass. And at 30 frames a second just doesn't do it. East 9, Monstrum Nox. The fact that that game is on the Switch, fantastic. it runs like shit on the Switch, but it's there. Just the way the Nintendo are fantastic for making incredibly cheap hardware expensive and still managing to make fantastic stuff on it. I've missed this thing. I really have. I just wish that Nintendo could make some decent hardware for it, like accessories for it, because Joy-Cons are shit. But played Monster Hunter, and then hung out with the wife and started watching films and animes and the magic. And then realised, hey, you've got a vlog to do. You should probably find the camera. So I found the camera. Oh, mate, you know what we need? Robotics Notes is on here. We need Chaos Head. Chaos Head needs to be put on the Switch. That would be absolutely fantastic. I really need to get more of the old Nintendo exclusives. I don't like third-party titles really anymore on Switch. I'd much rather, if it's available on multiplat, get it on PC or something. PC is the ultimate platform, by the way. Not just in case of power, but like you tend to find now that exclusives on every other platform are bleeding into PC. So I always use this as an example. Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 is only on PlayStation. Killer Instinct is only on Xbox, if you're on consoles. PC has both of them. Nintendo, I really wish you'd start releasing some of your exclusives onto PC, just like the other platforms are, because that would be beautiful. Oh, I heard, don't know if this is true, Witcher 3 has a cross-save feature, or I might have misheard what people were saying, but apparently it's got a cross-save, so you can upload your save onto the... Or maybe they were talking about Steam Deck, but then why would that matter about Steam Deck? Was the video even talking? Was the Steam Deck even out at the time? No, because this was about when Monster Hunter Rise came out. On PC. Hey, miracle that game even runs. And I'm probably going to use the Switch a lot more now because look, Crunchyroll and Funimation are on there. I'd never normally think of watching video on the Switch. I remember when YouTube was on, that was like the only app we had on there. I was like, why do I want to watch YouTube videos on my Switch at times how long I've been on the Switch? Why would I do that? That's just dumb. But now Crunchyroll and Funimation are on there, even though I don't think you need both. I think I might use it more, just as a random entertainment thing. More so, actually, probably, if I had an actual physical dock. And I'm not knocking the third-party docks, they're fantastic and super convenient, but I've never really actually used this the way Nintendo intended me to. Right, I just killed the battery, so I was probably talking for about 60 bajillion hours, but I think the last thing I said before the camera died was that I've never really used the Switch as Nintendo intended, and streaming the Switch looks kind of jank when you can play the same game on PC at a smoother frame rate, but such a fantastic little device. Such a fantastic little device. The Steam Deck is going to be the Switch of the PC world. Realistically, the idea that you can take home console style experiences or big boy home experiences on the go. It's going to be great. I'm going to head off. I hope you well. And I'll see you all with good luck tomorrow. Sleepy time now. Really sleepy time now.